number 2 of the Closed Fist. Yo. Once again, I'm Russ. That's Joey. That is Will. Interesting convo in regards to the pay-per-views coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. How angry are we, Will?
I'm not angry. We had, well, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Just because I think, I've said this for a long time, since they went, I mean, how long? Probably about 4 years ago now, when they turned Hell in the Cell to its own pay-per-view. And that's my anger part of it, is because I said, the Hell in the Cell needs to be the culmination of a feud. It needs to be the end of a feud. They've been feuding for 6 months. They can't resolve it. Nobody, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns should have ended in a Hell in the Cell.
I agree with that.
But of course,
they went to an ambulance match instead.
But that was cool, though.
Oh, it was great.
It was cool, but yeah,
I know Hell in a Cell.
That's where a Hell in the Cell should go. It shouldn't be. We've been feuding for about 3 weeks now on SmackDown Live, and now we're gonna go to Hell in the Cell. I think it should be the culmination of bad blood, just everything wrong. You guys are bad blood. That's how it should end.
There's nothing left. It's where you put it all out.
You put it all out there. Not have 6 of them in one night, and it ruins it for me. It ruins what Mick Foley and The Undertaker created with a Hell in the Cell.
Well,
not that was the first,
right?
But what they created, the aura of it is ruined.
It's just,
I agree with that.
But it's just like what they do with anything else. As soon as they see something that is successful, what do? They hammer it, they hammer it, they hammer it. They bleed it until you can't get blood from a stone, but yet they always seem to find a little bit,
Yeah,
well, that's what WWE does.
It kills shit. Then you get half-ass pay-per-views is what we're getting. 2017 is the year of the half-ass pay-per-view.
No, I totally agree.
It's even less than half-ass. It's quarter-ass.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing. If I could pick and choose matches out of each one, where I'm getting kind of off topic, but pick and choose matches. Yeah, we could build one good pay-per-view, but
I think at some point, don't they have to start to look to go to the one pay-per-view?
They have to. It's. I mean, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of people that need to get
on
out,
TV,
on
right?
TV,
That's the thing.
And there's a lot of storylines that need to happen. But I mean,
to make it to a pay-per-view, it used to be that a pay-per-view was the best of the best.
Well, that was when you were only doing 4 a year.
Well, yeah, but even so, even when they were doing 12 a year, it was like...
Now there's 72?
The best matches of the best...
24?
Like 25-ish, whatever.
Like 74.
Yeah, something like that. It's like, you know what, it was like the best of the best talent on there. Now, because of the brand split, they're throwing... people that need TV time, mind you, but they're not at the pay-per-view level.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You have those huge matches, and you have so much talent that you need time for them. But at the same time, too, they're not good enough to be a pay-per-view. It's a double-edged sword.
But it used to be that when you say, "Oh, well, this is the next pay-per-view," you expected to see the best of the best. Now it's gone to this. These guys need TV time, and it's downgraded the pay-per-view aspect, the phrase pay-per-view, to a point of
a month instead of $100 a month.
Yeah, you have to have the talent to call it a pay-per-view. Now you're looking at these pay-per-views that are just thrown together, pretty much. And it's like, who's appearing on it? Well, Apollo Crews.
I'm actually going to, as an example, I'm going to give your guy Sami Zayn some love here for a minute. Yeah. Because, with the pay-per-view problem,
right?
All right, and the TV time thing,
right?
Okay, so you have these matches. Instead of having all of these matches that they keep having over and over every week on Raw and SmackDown with the people who are going to be on the pay-per-view. Yes, give them TV time. Give them segments, like they're doing. And but give the guys who, build it with segments and stuff like that instead of doing all these and then have the pay-per-view match.
Right.
Yeah, they're fighting 6 times
And then
for the pay-per-view.
give the guys like Sami Zayn who aren't getting the TV time and probably won't be on the pay-per-view, give them TV time on television. You know what I mean? Right. On the regular shows and how, stuff like that. That's the way I think they should go, because you're building more, because you're building the matches on the pay-per-view that way.
Yep. No. Totally.
You see where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
We're in agreement. They're just wasting talent at this point and burying people they shouldn't be burying.
Well, you know what? Now we're looking at the No Mercy pay-per-view card here.
The better of the two.
You think it's about okay? All right. Yeah. Well, you know what? The Hell in a Cell is still like a couple weeks away, so that
right.
and the card's not full yet.
Yeah. Right. So, but the No Mercy card, it does look pretty decent. Starting off, you have Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. I think we're all. I mean, do we want Braun to have the title right now, or
no?
No.
But do you want? I mean, the gripe
how much bigger,
I haven't had, but most people have had is Lesnar not defending enough, and does he go through another? But at least he's defended the past like 2 months.
But you know what though? I think the title itself's been downgraded to the point of where it's going to take some time to repair it. That kind of reputation of that.
But you also need somebody that's on the show.
Yeah, true.
It needs to be on the show.
So I mean, because there's rumors out there that he might be the champ up until WrestleMania. Now, I don't know if...
I'm good with that.
You're good with that?
Full year? Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I've had enough of Brock not being there.
Yeah, I'm kind of...
How do you have him dominated the way he's been being dominated?
He's been here every week.
No, he's been on lately. Yeah, he's been on lately. I mean, if they can have him on a like 2 to 3 times a month.
But he's getting dominated. Literally dominated. And I know that's what they do. They build, the guy that gets dominated ends up winning. I mean, that's what happens. Look at John Cena. He gets beat up in the corner, and then a week later he comes and wins the pay-per-view.
Now you sound salty.
It's because it's a formula that they always do. The guy that gets beat up is the underdog and wins. But let the monster just destroy it.
But you know what, though?
But the monster's been destroying him the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. Let him take the title. How do you build somebody up that big and then drop them?
They might. They still might. I'm not saying they're not gonna, but they still might. But
the thing that I worry about is that if you build Strowman up and only to have him lose to Lesnar.
That's what they did to Bray.
And, and it's like...
Bray did it to himself, anyway.
Whole nother the storyline. The Eater of Worlds is nothing.
Exactly.
But that's what they could do. They could be doing that with Braun, and that could ruin his character.
Well, let's finish our point here.
But it's like there's a fight coming on later. I'm just saying. But do they? How many times can you do that? Have him build them up only to lose before fans are like, okay. Oh, gee, they're building him up again. Guess what's going to happen?
Do it with Roman Reigns in that situation too.
I mean, is it going to be harmful to Braun at some point?
I think if he doesn't win, or if he should lose, it's going to be to some sort of technicality. Something's going to happen. Somebody interferes. Something.
Right? Yeah, but he's still over.
But that's the way you get out of that without making him look like a bitch.
Yeah, he's still over. If it's a DQ or whatever it is, he's still over.
But if it's a clean match and he doesn't win, all of a sudden he is the bitch.
But even if it's not a clean win, how many times can you do that, though?
Do what?
How many times can you have build up Braun only to have him lose either with a run-in or
what do you mean, how many times? How many times has it happened? Because I think most of the stuff most of the program with Roman Reigns was he won clean. I mean, I think Roman won twice.
Roman is one thing.
That's the last big feud he was in.
Right, but I'm just saying how many because... My fear is that they're going to build Braun up, because if their plan is to have Brock Lesnar be the champion up until WrestleMania, okay, then this feud with Braun right now means nothing.
I'm going to give you the prediction right now. This is what's happening. Samoa Joe ends up in this fight somehow.
Still hurt.
Interrupts.
He's still hurt, but
to throw shade,
so.
just to intervene in some way to set up a three-way between the three of them. That's how Braun loses.
But you know what, though? And I think
Something like that.
He's a wild card right now because he is hurt.
Right.
And I don't know exactly when he might be coming back, but
Even just to set something up, I mean, he doesn't have to do anything crazy.
but it's like I don't know. I mean, if they are really looking to have Brock Lesnar as the champ for a while longer now, I think that this feud would have been better served
later Yep.
than now.
Well,
Like after Survivor Series or even closer to Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think so.
Although when you start getting that close to WrestleMania, then your legends start walking out, and The Rock, and
well, they didn't do it last year.
They didn't.
that's true too. Yeah.
They didn't pull that trigger last year. The Hardys were the only one, and that was because they came back to wrestling.
Speaking of getting buried,
My thing is, they could milk it because Strowman. We can all agree Strowman is the future. Strowman is the next champ. He's the future.
phenomenal.
He's the future. Correct? Would we all agree with that?
He is your next. He is the big guy.
He's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially
even
with-
Oh, go ahead.
with Big Show on his last leg, and he's going to be that big guy.
They could milk this feud till WrestleMania.
You think?
They could. They could.
But how stale is that going to get?
That's a little long. I mean,
I mean, they drop it and revisit it. I can see them doing that.
Something could happen. It goes away. They could restart it again. They could do a 3-match program now. But is Brock leaving?
that's the part.
You could also pull the play of Brock gets hurt and goes away for a while, comes back and wins the title back. Something like that.
Yeah, but it all depends. I mean, I haven't heard any of the rumors. Like, is he going to UFC or is he not?
I mean, all signs had pointed to him going to UFC later on this year. Now,
so then he loses. So he
He's
loses
gonna have to
clean.
lose at some point if
Strowman
that's the
gets the
case.
belt, and then
Because he's not pulling double duty.
Lesnar comes back at WrestleMania. Well, but you know what? If he's going into training, he's not going to be back at WrestleMania.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, so the fact that that there's even a rumor out there that he's going to be still champ going into WrestleMania, I don't know.
I think we're surprised that he's still champ right now, considering the way
Yeah.
things are going with he had his out.
Yep.
If he would have lost, he had his out.
Yeah. So it's like, parts of me think that the UFC thing might have been a work.
It could be.
I mean,
Just to give that storyline a little bit more. Yeah, it very well could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe the Wombats are getting a little bit smarter.
or maybe the Wombats aren't.
Strange bedfellows, remember?
Yep, exactly.
The UFC and the WWE.
Yep.
Here comes
yep.
Ronda and her 4 horsewomen.
Yep, exactly.
I heard that's dead in the water. Possibly.
Well, you never
she
know.
might sign, but the 4 horsewomen thing is dead in the water.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. But going into John Cena, Roman Reigns, this is something that has to end. I'm sorry. After this,
John Cena needs to end.
The real life or the shoot promos that they've been doing they've been decent. They've been good.
Oh yeah, I did.
But it's like, is it getting boring now?
I can only hear the word bitch so many times.
Yeah, I know.
John, you're a bitch, John. It's
is.
annoying.
Well, he's just an annoying promo. He's just everything.
It's very monotone,
He's
very
gotten
boring.
better. I mean, he's gotten better.
Don't defend
over
him.
Russ, you're a bitch, Russ.
Wow.
Sorry, it's
Wow.
Roman Reigns. He just took over.
The angry hobbit's gonna come out. Watch it.
Yes.
Get him.
But
That was a chihuahua.
don't make me get my lifts. I'll kick your ankle.
Hornswoggle.
Nobody's ever denied Roman Reigns' in-ring talent, but here's the part that there's always that other half that people need to realize, and that wrestlers need to realize, is that if you really want to make it to the top echelon of the business, mic skills is, you have to be the total package. I'm not saying
Paul Heyman.
I'm not saying or get Paul Heyman. I'm not saying that Roman Reigns is he's by far not great, not even good, but from where he started and where he is now, he's gotten better.
I think he needs his brothers back.
I think the promo, you think about it, you talk about promo with him, the one he cut right after WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania, when he buried the Undertaker. It was done, and he sat in there in the ring for like 3 minutes, and then it got booed.
Yeah.
And he sat there and was like,
he just took it, loved it.
And then he was his monotone self, but he just cut that was probably one of the best promos.
He said one line.
He said one line, but
it's my yard now, or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, and that's all he needs to do.
But although his promo last week was not bad when he called Cena out for the same thing Cena called The Rock out. That was actually really good. I was waiting for somebody to throw that in.
That one was I'll tell you, that was really interesting to see.
I mean, I'm not saying he sounded great.
That was a real one,
but the actual shoot was pretty goddamn good.
The look on Cena's face was interesting.
Yeah.
When he, when he compared that to The Rock. Compared him to The Rock in that fashion, but I think the match itself.
See you next week, superstar.
Yeah, but that's how John Cena's coming to the end.
We all know it.
We all know it. But will
He's going to be the new Undertaker. He's going to show up at WrestleMania once a year.
But will they give Reigns the win?
I don't see them doing it. He retired the Undertaker. Supposedly, if the Undertaker doesn't come back one more time, I think he's due for a loss.
Could this be a WrestleMania match?
It's being billed as it should have been.
I'm looking at the card right now. Those top 2 matches are both WrestleMania
matches,
are main events.
Yeah,
either one is a main event for
that's what they're
that
calling
company.
Yep,
WrestleMania style matches.
Yep. And then I'm thinking Cena's gonna win, and then
I hope he does.
He can't come off of losing the shot Nakamura. I mean, he needs a win.
He needs a win, yeah.
For him to stay relevant, he's going to need a win.
Yeah, and that's a shit.
And that can lengthen that feud out too till WrestleMania. Yeah. There could be cross paths a few times, tag team together, win the tag team titles together. How that bullshit works.
I think that'll end in Survivor Series.
Probably.
I hope so.
The women's championship match: Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Emma versus Bayley. Yeah, pretty much the whole Raw roster. Mm-hmm. Bayley needs a hug because she's totally
she's a face hug.
Oh my god! I'll tell you what, man. There's a female wrestler that when she came out from NXT was supposed to be the next big thing in the women's division. Good Lord, what the heck?
But those small house crowds of an NXT show, the little intimate venue type of thing. Yep. Her gimmick was great. Those stupid blow up things that fly around and she doesn't work for the main roster. She doesn't work.
But you know what doesn't help her? The writers. The same problem we're having is we were talking about this yesterday. NXT to Raw and SmackDown, it's a different show. It's a little bit more because it's on the network. It's a little bit more pushing the edge.
Yeah.
It's not PG. Those characters are developed so well.
But how is she pushing the edge with her?
Well, no, she's not.
Huggy, kiss
But
thing?
They could have wrote her a completely different way, or given her a different route to go, or just write her better.
But the problem. Well, here's the thing with Bayley, and I think you could say this about a lot of talent. They have good in-ring skills.
I think she's great.
She's very good. But when they get a microphone, they're deer in headlights.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, granted, the writers have something to do with it, but every time I see her pick up a mic, it's like all of a sudden she. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, but it's like she freezes a little, or
she's awkward in the ring sometimes too. She has that not sure of herself.
Yeah, but it's like
no way, man. She drops that elbow.
Oh yeah, drops
the elbow.
Oh yeah, but
step into it.
Limb Jim.
That's a plug. You were going to get sued for that one.
I mumbled it. But it's like, you know what? The way that they push some people to the forefront sometimes.
Well, here's the thing, too.
They're just not ready.
If somebody's writing all your lines and you don't believe them,
yeah,
how much are you going to put into them?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't. I mean, one thing that I heard somebody say when I was at one of the independent shows a couple weeks ago is that if you don't believe your character,
yeah,
it's going to come across that way. Yes. Does she believe? Now, it could be she believes in the character, she just doesn't believe in the writing of the character, But so, I mean, it could go either way in that case. But I just think that that they've booked her horribly. And I think it's coming out now. I mean, it's really showing itself now. and it's I don't want to say it's costing her spot, but it's getting pretty close.
Say her spot.
I did.
Her dog spot.
Their dog spot.
Her liver spot.
Her dog spot. And
my spot.
And now you have people like Alexa Bliss who are just they're top. They're at the top right now.
Oh, she is at the top.
She is at
Please
the top.
don't say Emma. Please don't say Emma.
Sasha Banks. Now there's another one that's kind of been, she wins a title and then the next night she loses.
Without Charlotte, she's nowhere near as good as she was. Charlotte brought the best out in her.
Yeah.
Those matches the two of them had were
they were great.
Were both of their best matches.
They were great. And now you have Nia Jax, who
buddy.
You know what? I will say this.
Jax, man.
I will say this about Nia Jax. From when she first came up to now,
It's from a long way.
there's a nice progression there with her. I mean, because now they've kind of like rerouted her in being a face.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of,
But she needs competition is the biggest problem with her. These girls are like
5 foot nothing. Yeah.
Like, give her Tamina somehow. Somehow put them on the same
But you
show.
know what though? I will say this. She's not as stiff as she used to be in the ring.
And she sells those girls too.
And she's selling. I mean,
But that's my one main problem with her. How is she going to sell that Alexa Bliss who's 5'2"?
But she's making it look like it's a possibility.
But you know what though? That's
Samson and Goliath, or Samson and Goliath? David and Goliath.
David and Goliath.
Saturday mornings.
Yeah. But you know what though? Isn't pro wrestling about the improbable and about the impossible?
You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. But
I think we sell it with a bunch of midgets fighting Braun Strowman.
I could be in that match.
Yeah.
But
there you go. I'm saying that that's a little much. It's cool when like the 5 of them all take her out like they did on Monday night or whatever night it was, when they all took her out, it's plausible, but I get it, but Alexa Bliss ran from her all night on Monday, so
right.
Yeah. In the I don't want to say in the regular world, in the normal world, but
that's the thing.
It just
she got destroyed.
Nia Jax she would
destroy the division. She would never lose.
Well, like the Big Show used to say, when I'm in the ring with some of these guys, I just make sure I don't kill them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
She has control of her size.
But she's pretty good though. I mean, she's gotten better.
She's got control.
Absolutely. And then of course, I'll just say Emma. End of story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tag team championship match: Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro.
Sorry.
I actually like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins as tag champs, but Sheamus and Cesaro, come on.
They're still. How have they been together for so long and they're still awkward? They can't even do their arm bumps together the right way.
Because one does the arm bump, the other goes, "We are the bar." They don't know which one. Are you doing this one or are we doing this one?
It's all cross.
Russ, can you hear this?
Yes, I can. But yeah, so who cares? I mean, hopefully Dean and Rollins win, but other than that, okay. And then
I have a question. I know we're skipping through these things quickly. What's the end game, do you think, with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins?
Dean's going to turn on Rollins.
Yeah.
Dean's going to turn on Rollins, and Dean's going to be heel.
Turnabout is fair play
At some point, and that's the main thing right there, because they're.
Seth turned on
because they have them together now. They supposedly made up, with the whole fist thing or whatever like that. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to pay you back at some point. When that is, who knows? Could be a Survivor Series, could be
WrestleMania,
could be whenever. I mean, so and then there's going to be a program with Dean and Rollins together. Only it's opposite now. Right. Dean's going to be a face and Rollins is going to be a heel. Or the other way around again Saturday mornings. But yeah, it's that's what's going to happen. When it's going to happen, who knows? And of course, we have the Intercontinental title match, The Miz versus Jason Jordan. Good Lord. I know. I like Jason Jordan.
Yeah, I like Jason Jordan a lot. But I wish they wouldn't have ruined him with the Kurt Angle thing, and they could have let that go. They could have put that to bed.
But is this how you get Kurt Angle in the ring?
Possibly WrestleMania. Yeah.
This is how it works.
But they could have put that to bed, because the myself included, the wrestling community has the attention span of a gnat. So,
I'm sorry, you were talking?
Exactly. So you could have put that whole I'm Kurt Angle's son to bed, and then, just put him,
tagged him with Shelton Benjamin.
Put him in this match and give him his own thing. You put him up on the pedestal now, keep him going. And I think he's great, but
I think he would.
I think the Kurt Angle thing's going to hold him back.
Shelton Benjamin. I think that would have been a good team.
Yeah.
Put him with his old guy.
Shelton Benjamin. Well,
Put him with. I mean, he was part of Angle's little
thingy. Yeah.
Well, that's WWE thinking it's being cute, because they're going to go, we're not going to do that, even though that's what we should do.
Wombats.
But
and then of course we go to what I'd like to call the shovel match: Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt.
Again.
I was still on Jason Jordan. But anyway, we'll go to this one.
It's called We're Burying Both Superstars match.
The shovel. I like to call this the shovel match. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think Finn's going to win. And
Goldust is getting, Mr. Rhodes is getting involved.
Ooh.
You all right over there? Both these. This is weird. Anyway,
awkward.
Yeah. I could truly care less. It's sad to say about two guys who a year ago were at the top of their game. Well, Finn Balor was more hurt, 2 years ago. He was hurt, but 2 years ago.
My guy, and I'm sick of this shit. Pardon my language.
I can't believe they've fallen so far so fast.
Yeah. But here's the thing now. Well, going back to Jason Jordan for a bit. Are they pushing him too much too soon?
No.
And then if you look at Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, is this where we say where they've gotten their shot and now they're just mid-carders?
I don't think Finn is a big enough physique for Raw. He fits better with the guys on SmackDown. That's number one. But Bray, it's terrible.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about Finn Balor is there's a huge angle they still have to work. There's a huge angle. He was the first Universal Champion, and he still owes his rematch. Yep.
I think they're waiting for another guy.
Oh yeah,
to be and the thing is he's
not going to beat Lesnar. He's not going to beat Strowman.
He's going to have to wait, and by that point he may be on SmackDown.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they're putting that in their pocket and they're holding that. That's going to come back someday. Whether he goes to SmackDown and comes back,
when he's on another wrestling scene.
They're gonna that angle will come back
at some point.
Yep. Finn Balor, at least in the mix for the title. Not to say he's going to get it, but they could move Money in the Bank. They could switch it. They did. SmackDown this year, Raw next year.
They should do that just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt, I don't know what to tell you, man. 3 years ago, that guy, when they had Daniel Bryan with the Daniel Bryan thing was corny, but it was still he was in the the heavyweight title mix. He was all the Wyatt family, all that stuff.
Now it's nothing.
And now it's nothing. And now it's just he cuts a spooky promo and that's it. And then he's Sister Abigail's people. Is that the new thing? Is Sister Abigail out of nowhere? Is that how this works?
Pretty much.
Goldust was burying you. He was
There's one move done.
And then one move done.
He's
fine,
the next Randy Orton. Great.
Yeah.
House of Horrors.